Yo, good morning, fellas. How's everybody doing on this great Monday morning? Coming off what I hope was a spectacular weekend for you, and hopefully one that you were able to fully enjoy. We were able to enjoy it here. Summer is full on going. You know it's summer when you don't come home till 8:30, 9 o'clock. You let the kids stay out late. That's right, there was a Greek festival in Lincoln Park on Saturday night that we got to go over there and enjoy. Fantastic food, fantastic entertainment by some band. I don't know who the hell they were, but man, they were putting on a good show there for the people. Kids jumping around the bounce house. That was just a great way to end our Saturday, which Saturday morning was spent at the Lincoln Park Farmers Market. Then you jump over to the Lincoln Park Zoo. You know what? Come to find out, felt like we were in Lincoln Park a lot on Saturday. Just a fantastic day, and Sunday was another good day as well, as the weather is just fantastic here in the Windy City. Now's the time you want to visit. You want to visit Chicago? Everybody talks about how great this city is. Now's the time to come home, because once September comes, you start getting in those terrible cold temperatures, and you don't want any part of this city. But I love it right now during summertime. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. How'd your sports betting go over the weekend? That's what we'll be talking about around here. We enjoy our sports. Enjoy our sports betting as well. We'll make sure we, of course, recap last week, recap the MLB, recap the French Open, just do a good old recap here. And then we got the payoff pitch live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, with myself and the Hockey Squirrel, where we'll be previewing today's MLB slate. Small slate, but a good slate. And I think there's some matchups that we can take advantage of and hopefully kick off the week right by putting some money in our pockets. So let's start it off by, of course, recapping last week, where we did earn the right to go ahead and ring that cash register. How about 19 and 14? How about plus 4.14 units? Just a really outstanding week right there, and one that was definitely soured by Sunday's results. Sunday seems to trip us up. I mean, it certainly has saved us over the time, but Sundays tend to maybe sometimes be rough, and it certainly was the case. But again, a fantastic week at plus 4.14 units. Good on the year now. A lot of wins, a lot of losses, and starting to work our way up there. Remember, we started off the 2023 calendar year down 20 units at one point. We've battled all the way back, and we're plus 16.12 units. Love that right there. What about arbitrage year to date? Just look at that number right there. Look at that number right there. I always get hit up by people trying to make a quick buck. I know 5 months and 4 days isn't a quick time by any stretch, but how about free money? How about making $100 a month? How much would that help you out right now if you had an extra $100 every single month? You can do that with arbitrage betting. Give me a follow on Twitter. We tweet those opportunities out every time. DraftKings is doing a 50% profit boost every day in the MLB, which seems like for the last couple weeks, so that's certainly been helping. Love it right there. Free money, sweat-free, over $600 in your pocket. Let's have some fun and talk about those good wins and bad losses, though, from last week. And I love this part of the show where you get to look back, remember the highs, and remember the lows of last week. What about the cash cow? You knew it was going to be a good day on Tuesday, and you knew even that was going to set you up for what could possibly be a nice week. And that was it. Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks up against the scary Cardinals offense. Get out of here with this Cardinals offense. Is scary. Worse, just an atrocious offense, quite frankly. Zach Greinke stays under 1.5 walks. Puts us on the hook in the first inning. And Tyler, remember him on Wednesday's show, asked what that live line is. If we get it, or if we don't get the over 1.5, perhaps that's a way we can get in there, is he puts you on the hook in the first inning like he does more times than not. Maybe we can live bet Zach Greinke. On the days they don't give us that 1.5 line, we can live bet it. So keep that in your feather cap for tomorrow, as I believe I saw Zach Greinke pitches tomorrow, which is interesting. He doesn't pitch today. Like, they bumped him back a turn in the rotation. He pitched last Tuesday. Guy doesn't need a whole week off. Man, they're really babying that guy, but he's the cash cow. Love to see it right there. What about Reese Olson there of the Detroit Tigers? That was just a fantastic play. You got a guy that's a high strikeout guy in the minors, making his MLB debut, going up against a struggling White Sox team versus left-handers, and you project him to go over 4.5 Ks at plus 115. Came through for us nice and easy. Love to see that right there. Reese Olson, friend of the program, making his debut with a good plus money cash. Thank you there, Reese Olson. How about fading Patrick Corbin finally to a success? He had burned us the previous couple times, but he went up against his great Dodgers team versus left-handers, and we needed 4 runs. I know that was a big ask of over 3.5, but the way they were swinging left-handers, Patrick Corbin wasn't going to stay on a roll forever. he actually pitched decent again by his standards. Give him credit. But in the process, the Dodgers deliver a plus money cash. They go over 3.5 on their F5 team total. What about MLB dogs last week? We were doing great last week, and we've been mentioning that on the payoff pitch of really how fourth inning long shots has been treating us good. It was time to start incorporating more of those into our plays. How about 3-1 on those MLB dogs? We get the Yankees and Reds on one night. Reds being a good plus 160. Almost wet the bed there with that bullpen late in that game and would have had a very, very ugly bad beat. But they hold on to the 9-8 win. Yankees get the first win there in Seattle with Nestor Cortez. And then we pick up a win on Friday. My dog of the day on Friday was the Texas Rangers at plus 102. So we'll talk about the notable losses. It was a pretty bad loss in my mind, so that one is a standalone on its own little thing there on notable losses. What about the Rockies on that F5 money line? Give it up for Connor Seabold stepping in for the people when it was supposed to be Chase Anderson, and then when you get that news it's going to be Seabold. Boy, if you shook your head and rolled your eyes, you weren't the only one. His back of the baseball card is not as good as Chase Anderson, but Seabold said, I got you, dog. I ain't gonna let that bet go to shit because you are on the right side. You do get the hitting advantages, and I got the pitching advantages for you. How about 5 innings of shutout ball for my man Connor Seabold? Love to see that right there. Thank you, my man. And a plus 135 cash as the Rockies offense does just enough, getting 1 run, and they win 1-0. What about the Diamondbacks on that F3 team total? We talked about Spencer Strider. You like to back him through the first 3 innings, Braves run line, or maybe just take the team on their F3 under. That's what we did right there against the Arizona Diamondbacks on Saturday, or only play on Saturday. Made you wait until the nightcap, but a good plus 110 cash. Oh, yeah, Spencer Strider definitely delivered. And how about tennis there at the French Open? How about going 2-0 on the money line parlays there midweek? I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, if I recall correctly. 2 relatively sweat-free money line parlays as well. So love to see that right there. What were some of those tough losses? What were some of those kicking the dicks from last week? How about Zapata Morales up against Diego Schwartzman? How about winning the first 2 sets? How about just wetting the bed on sets 3 and 4? How about getting bageled on one of those? The other one was 6-1. Dude, just what? Just give up? Then you want to be competitive in the 5th set? But, of course, you lose the first break and you go down 6-4. Wow. Just the manner in which he fell apart was shocking after being up 2-0. Really tough one right there. Bryce Elder, over 5.5 Ks against the Oakland Athletics, just fell short. Hell, he went 7.1 innings pitch. I'd have bet the whole goddamn house. If you'd have told me pregame, Bryce Elder is going to go 7.1 innings pitch against the Athletics, I go all in on over 5.5 Ks. Are you kidding me? With that piece of information, he can't quite do it. Tons of opportunities, just gets tripped up. Meanwhile, Matthew Boyd out here on Sunday wants to look like Sonny Koufax out here against the Chicago White Sox. Tried to take it under with him, and hell, he struck out 6 of his first 10 batters. What? Struck out 6 of the first 10 batters. White Sox up there just swinging at every goddamn thing up there. That was a tough one right there. What about that Braves? Talking about that same night we took Bryce Elder on his over. We also thought the Braves could score the first inning. Ronald Acuna getting picked off on first base after a leadoff walk. Really just changed the inning right there because Matt Olson picks up a single behind him. But you don't get runners on first and second, no out. Instead, you get runner on first, 1 out. Completely changed that inning. Thought we were poised for a good plus 190 cash, but it wasn't meant to be. Guardians money line, that was our only dog last week that couldn't come through for us. 6-3 in the 8th inning. They're up 3 runs when one of the reasons why you took the Guardians money line was that strength of the bullpen, top 5 bullpen, and they can't come through. They can't hold a 3-run lead. Can't hold a 3-run lead against a really sorry hitting Twins team. That one hurt. That one still hurts at you a little bit right there. A's on that F3 money line. We tried to do the same thing on Saturday, on Sunday with Sandy Alcantara. He gave up 5 runs, all of them in the 3rd inning. So that's a little bit tough that he just had 1 inning of a hiccup. How about that rally started with the 7, 8, 9 hitters? 7, 8, 9 hitters are the ones that get the Sandy Alcantara. Shit, I didn't see that one coming. Tough right there. And how about Bubba Wallace over Eric Almirola in yesterday's race? Enjoy Illinois 300. How about Bubba Wallace was whipping his ass all race? I watched probably 2/3 of that. It was hard to watch it all because of the red flags and the delays that they had, but I probably caught 2/3 of it. It was sweat-free. He was up half a dozen spots on Almirola all day. And we had 4 laps to go. He was still whipping his ass. 4 laps to go. Bubba Wallace gets into the outside of the wall, brings out a caution. I mean, are you kidding me, Bubba Wallace? That's twice you've done it to us. Dirty, dirty. First time was in Atlanta. You wrecked on lap 10. Now you're 4 laps of giving the cash to the people. 4 laps away from delivering the cash. You done whipped his ass all day. And you run into the outside of the wall. I about lost it on that one. Come on, Bubba. 4 laps to go. You ain't competing for first place. Like, what do you... That one hurts. That one... Yeah, I didn't enjoy that one. That one hurt. That's the reason that one's going to make you like back off on betting NASCAR for a while. Like, remember we took like 4 or 5 weeks off? Yeah, go back to taking 4 or 5 weeks off. That's how painful that one was. Just been crushing Almirola all day. Really disgusting stuff right there. So that's how last week went. Good. Plus 4.14 units. Yes, sir. Hit that like button if you were part of that. Let's go ahead and throw up that MLB recap, which people like to see. People really only care about the top line. How are you doing? Well, how about plus 17.08 units this MLB season? Love that right there. And then people want to know, well, what's your current form? Go down to the bottom. You can see the last 4 weeks we've been winning money, and each week is improving. The first one was about a half unit. Then you jump up to almost 2 units. Then you jump up to over 2 units. And then last week, how about winning 4.5 units in MLB? So a very good week in the MLB, continuing a very good run of 4 weeks of to the good. Let's see if we can't make that 5 weeks. And let's go ahead and throw up that French Open. This doesn't mean we're done betting the French Open, but just like we haven't gotten a bet in the last couple days, it's just because the lines are sharper, the matchups are tougher. You know, even if you think it's going to be a coin flip and you want to bet the over, well, hell, they're driving the over up to like 39.5 games. You need basically 5 sets to hit that. 4 sets and you're kind of in trouble, and you can get a competitive match and the guys can still go down in 3 sets or 4 sets even in a competitive match. So tennis has been a little bit tough, but this is where we're at so far. If it were to end, it would be a profitable tournament, right? You lose money on day 1 and 2 getting juiced out, going 500 each day. Day 1 had that Zappa Morales really brutal loss in there, that 4-4 day, couple overs when Popperin just, I don't know, what he just give up. Did Popperin? I don't know what the hell happened to him. And then you start hitting those 2 money line parlays I'm talking about on day 5 and day 6. Just hitting some easy money line parlays, and that's what gets you in the positive overall in the tournament. So, again, doesn't mean we're over. It doesn't mean we're going to bet it, but that just is where we stand right now. Let's go ahead and hop in that comment section, see what you guys were up to this past weekend, and then we'll talk some Champions League, and then we'll, of course, we go at the payoff pitch live in about 7 or so minutes. All right. Morning, Ross. Sorting my dog. What's up, man? Last 2 weeks, you've been killing it. Thank you, Tanner. Thank you, my man. Appreciate that nice comment. It's been a nice roll. Hopefully, you can be sitting here next week, Tanner, and say 3 weeks. That's the goal, Tanner. That'd be the goal. You've been getting rocked. Sorry to hear that, man. It's the ebbs and flow. I mean, as I said in the recap, I'm trying to overcome losing 20 units in the first, month and a half of 2023. It's just the ebbs and flow, man. It's just the ebbs and flows. Blackburn needed 1 more K. I saw your comment on Twitter, on TikTok, Adrian. And then obviously, Alcantara did what he did. I was already in a pissy mood, but I did go back and look, and I saw you only got 3 Ks. Just tough. I mean, he pitched like 4 innings. He actually got rocked. I actually thought that game was going to stay under. I thought Marlins Athletics yesterday was a relatively easy under to call. Obviously, it didn't go that way in a 7-5 game, but tough, Adrian. Tough. What's up there, Tyler? What's up, man? You had Stenhouse top 10. Oh, that was tough, too. Oh, man, that was tough. Yeah, he got taken out, with like 20-ish to go. Yep. Yeah, that was tough. I almost gave out Stenhouse over Eric Jones because Eric Jones has been terrible. Legacy Motorsports has just been god-awful. I would have had the same rough beat because it was Stenhouse up against Eric Jones and a head-to-head. I would have been right there. Tough, Tyler. Sorry, man. God damn, Bubba Wallace. That really agitates the shit out of me. The center gets suspended next. Oh, he definitely ran into Austin Dillon. Hooked Austin Dillon. I mean, you're going to suspend Bubba Wallace, obviously, for Kyle Larson last year. You're going to suspend Chase Elliott against Danny Hamlin last week. You got to suspend Cindric up against Austin Dillon. Hooked him. Nah, he meant to. Brian. I think that is absolutely curious. I'm going to go ahead and throw this bet up on the screen, and I'm curious actually what the current price is. We, of course, gave this bet out on FanDuel Champions League Final Saturday. I got to throw this question out there to you guys. First of all, let's look up the current price because I am quite curious. Curious if we're on the right side of this. Let me see. It's minus 151. So go get a better price right now. Man City money line over 1.5 goals. I gave it out at minus 154. I just price checked. It's minus 151. I had a guy, when I shared this bet on Twitter, he said Inter Milan 2-1. I was like, all right. Like, I'll take the bait. Like, why are you betting Inter Milan? Crickets. He didn't say a goddamn thing. Yeah, nobody's betting Inter Milan with any seriousness, or nobody's putting any real money on Inter Milan. Like, are you putting $2 on just to, like, have it? Just to have the conversation? I don't know. I don't get it. They were the better team against Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Obviously, some sensational goals there by Gundogan. The second one, I don't even know how Man United leaves him alone at the top of the box to even hit that volley. That's just god-awful defending, to be quite honest. But Man City, they're going to play the game of their life to win the treble. Tell me they're not going to beat Inter? I don't see it, man. So that's how we're going to roll right there in the Champions League. Otherwise, of course, I don't have any more bets to share. There's no tennis today that I'm interested in terms of the odds, right? It's getting kind of tough to bet it. There's no soccer today. There is the Europa Conference League final on Wednesday between Fiorentina and West Ham. That one smells like both teams to score in over 2.5. I just want to finish, going through the stats. I really need to familiarize myself heavily with Fiorentina, know everything about West Ham, but need to keep digging into Fiorentina a little bit more. But that one smells like an over 2.5 and both teams to score. Perhaps we'll have a bet for that one on Tuesday's show with the final on Wednesday afternoon. So maybe look for that one to come out tomorrow. Otherwise, yeah, it's just going to be baseball. And like Tanner says, been doing well, been killing it. And I'll look to keep that going. They still have rotor. Oh, yeah, the break. Yeah, it was Bubba Wallace's breaks. God damn it. Brian, bringing up pain, Brian. You got to quit talking about it. I mean, 4 drivers yesterday had rotor issues? I think it was 4 drivers. 4 drivers, I think, yesterday had issues. Why's one got to be my guy with 4 laps to go? Like, the rotors can't hold out for 4 more effing laps. You've been running 296 miles. You can't give me 4 more miles? You can give me 4 more effing miles? The part has to break and you have to slam the outside wall. Like, come on, man. I've been killing Almirola all day. Almirola's been shitty all season. That one hurts. I'm telling you what, that's another thing. I mentioned taking NASCAR off, and that is a tough beat, but, like, you could fade these legacy Motorhouse guys. Like, Tyler gets burned on, Ricky Stenhouse. I don't know if he was Stenhouse up against Eric Jones, but Eric Jones and Legacy Motorsports has been god-awful. Almirola and Stewart Haas Racing has been god-awful. Like, these are teams where I bet if you were to, like, attack them, like the Marlins NRFI, if you were to, like, fade these or fade the Athletics, run line every game, which seems to be cashing, just fade the Athletics run line. If you fade Legacy Motorsports, if you fade Stewart Haas and Almirola, you're probably going to get cashes a lot of times. Just brutally didn't go our way. Relax Monday, send winner. I'm always relaxed. I'm fired up just because I'm feeling good. We just had such a good weekend, man. It's summertime. Like, you got to be, oh shit, it's almost 10 o'clock. Let me go get a Hockey Squirrel. Fuck, fellas, we got to go. All right, fellas, we got to go. Let's get ourselves a Hockey Squirrel and come back. We're basically starting right now. Let's go, boys. Get fired up. Well, it's a beautiful Monday morning. Thank you, baseball fans, for hanging out with us live today and every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where myself and the Hockey Squirrel preview today's MLB slate. A nice weekend, summer weekend. Hopefully you're doing well, Squirrel. What's going on, man?
Hey, not too terribly much. I just finished a 7-day win streak yesterday and dropped 2 units last night, but
Mm.
nothing too detrimental at all. Started off June up 9 units, so I believe now, if my math's correct, that would be I'm still up 7. So
Okay.
um, opening thoughts for today, I could pretty much make a case for every single over on the board. I expect lots of runs
Oh,
today.
wow.
I just think that there are going to be a lot of runs in baseball today.
Love it. Well, it is summer. Weather is warming up. That generally means more runs. And I got a free bet on BetMGM I need to go ahead and use by today. So love it. Let's hear those overs. Let's jump on in and around the bases and see what you've got cooked up. What first game would you like to go ahead and start off with?
We'll go ahead and start off with, well, hey, you said, I was surprised you said you watched my TikTok videos, or the one that I made last night anyway. I ended up giving out 2 free picks. One was an over, and the other one was, well, something we'll save for a later inning. The over that I gave out last night was, I believe, the Brewers and the Reds, and I did that for a number of reasons, predominantly, though, because of the pitching. We don't know a hell of a lot about it. The guy for the Brewers, I forget his name, I think it was Julio something, has pitched 11 innings, and hey, he's actually done really well in those 11 innings, so it makes me a little bit nervous. But again, I don't know a hell of a lot about him. And then on the other side of things, I think it was Abbott was a MLB debut as far as I could tell. So you've got some pretty unknown pitching, and this is going down at a ballpark where it has pretty high ballpark factors. So when I'm making my calculations, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati is one of those, much like Fenway, much like Coors. Those are, I think, probably the top three for producing overs. In my model at least. But that's just kind of where I was at. Mostly was because of the pitching and because of model projections, as always. But um, that's that.
I'm curious. So you mentioned this guy, Andrew Abbott, and I went to go look him up. Left-handed pitcher, which is not good for the Brewers. They've struggled against left-handers all season long. A guy that projects as he's not overpowering you by any stretch. Some of the articles I read kind of talked about like Drew Smiley or Rich Hill, more of like the crafty, off speed, very slow. His fastball is only going to hit about 92 miles an hour, so he's not blowing anything by anybody. But the Brewers can't hit left-handers. They're going to get two struggling bullpens, so I do like that for your over. I'm just going to be curious about Andrew Abbott, how he handles the nerves, and this is a lineup in which that struggles versus left-handers. He should be able to get through, but to be determined, I guess. So enough unknown there to certainly put me off with Andrew Abbott. But I do like that angle from the bullpen perspective. You could get runs in that game late, so I like that right there. What about Astros and Blue Jays? What about Alek Manoah, a guy who has just had a terrible season, not been able to reproduce 2022 at all, 5.46 ERA, a 1.77 whip. Opponent's batting average of 269. And all these numbers are worse at home. He's not doing well at Rogers Center in Toronto. 6.83 ERA at home, a 2.5 whip, and a 3.06 opponent's batting average, and not striking out anybody at 7.7 K per nine. That's bad news with this Astros team that has done nothing but heat up against everybody since Altuve's been back. They've got some great left-handed bats, which Manoah has been struggling against left-handers. You get Alvarez, you get Kyle Tucker in there. In his starts, teams are averaging 5.4 runs against them. The Astros are a dog today. I think that's mainly because of this Blue Jays bullpen. It's really good. Boy, if Manoah can just keep them in it, then I really give the edge to the Blue Jays. But I'm expecting runs. I can't see this Astros team not hitting Manoah, chasing him early. You're not getting an outs prop on him. I thought we were going to do an under 17.5 outs. The guy's really been struggling his third time through the lineup. But we're not getting that. But perhaps the Astros, F5 team total, could be another way into this game. Again, we'll be really scared of that Blue Jays bullpen and maybe a full game over. But the F5 team total, everybody seems to be hitting Manoah hard, and I expect the Astros to as well. But also then would like the Astros as a dog today at plus 105. If they can get to him and not get into those good bullpen arms, I think the Astros can pull off the win today. What's another game for you, Squirrel?
Yeah. Also, just to note, I don't know if you ended up taking that over at all, or if it's just something you're mentioning, but it did open 9.5 in that Blue Jays game, and I believe it's 10 now. So that
Like it.
is good signs for the over as well, if that's something that you're looking at. As I said, I can make a case for every damn over in the board today, basically. Another one for the pitchers, and now I want to bring it up. If you'll give me just a second, I want to look at the lineups here because I liked the Cardinals and the Rangers. And when I think Martin Perez, I think good pitching. He's got a good record. He does not really have great whip ratings or an ERA, that's like super low or anything. I mean, we're still looking at 1.54 whip rating for Martin Perez, and I think even slightly higher, 1.71 for Adam Wainwright. So we're not looking at like pitchers that, much like Manoah, it's funny year to year in baseball how you would have that prior year perception of like, this is a really amazing pitcher, people who have ended up in all-star games, people who have been runner-ups for Cy Young awards or have won Cy Young, and then they come out and they're just completely not the same. You look at Alcantara recently, got tagged for 5 runs against the freaking Oakland Athletics yesterday.
Cool.
Just things are weird that way from year to year, season to season for different players. So um, this is almost a perception thing that I have of Martin Perez that makes me a little bit more nervous about it. But hey, dude, I mean, you look at the Texas Rangers, they've been hot. On the season, they have more runs than the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the number 1 run team season long in baseball. Then you put that up against a pitcher with 1.7 whip rating, and hey, the Cardinals aren't bad by any means either at the plate. So I expect good batting, and I expect fairly subpar pitching, and as far as statistics go. So this one I like an over here, and that price, at least the one that I got, was over 9.5 at -118. I've been finding myself paying a little bit more juice lately, but closing well anyway as a result. Like if I see the price that I like, I'd much rather need 10 runs to win the game than to take over 10 at even odds, and all of a sudden I need 11. Like, I just don't want to make it harder on myself than it already is to win a freaking game. So
Yeah. Where in your projections, what do you think about the Texas Rangers? You can see the money line at about -135. Some other books already have it up at -150, but I do see a -135, at least currently at BetMGM. I have the Rangers winning this game relatively easy. The Cardinals continue to be a really terrible offense. I mean, versus lefty and righties, they're below the Mendoza line. And they've been below Mendoza line or just above it all season long. Do you have the Rangers winning this game fairly easy? I think at -135, you're getting great hitting, pitching, and bullpen advantages. Where are you at there?
I know that the game's going to be a bit inflated because I saw it come out as like a market moving play from some of these different sources, well-respected plays. Right, there's a couple different syndicates to watch and things like that. So if you're into that's going to overinflate the line every single time when they send it out and 3,000 people go and bet the Texas Rangers. Like, I have the game -120 is my price that my projection has. So small favorite, yes. Expected to win the game, sure. Is it worth it at a -130 something? Did you say the rest of the market was closer to -150, or did I mishear you?
Yeah, I mean, I got DraftKings at -145. I have FanDuel at, let's see, -142.
So let me help you out because I think I
145-ish.
remember seeing that.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was sent out at -134 by the person that, I mean, like, the person that's going to move the lines is.
It's still at -135, so they're not moving the line because of the Cardinals. People are still respecting, or people are still having hope of the Cardinals, I would say. It's been hope all season long when you look at this Cardinals
right,
team.
because then that would make the Cardinals line probably closer to +150, right?
No, yeah, it's not anywhere near
And
there.
so,
It's like basically even money. It's like 110, I think. Yeah,
what?
yeah, +110. That's what I see. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
+110.
I went the wrong way with it. Sorry.
Oh, interesting. Interesting there. All right, let's talk about this Tigers game. They're taking on the Phillies. What about a Phillies full game team total of over 4.5 runs? That looks pretty daggone good. Phillies are showing life versus left-handers. They're hitting 290 right now with the slashing 328 and 435. So some of the better numbers they've had all season long against left-handers, which makes sense because they're projected to hit left-handers. They just haven't been doing it. I like that they're finally doing it right now, and they're getting Joey Wentz there of the Detroit Tigers. Very inconsistent numbers, but more bad than good. And I'm expecting a Phillies team that's coming in good right now, hitting 290 to really attack wins. 7.28 ERA, a 1.69 whip, and opponent's batting average of 312. That's going to run into problems if you do, in fact, get a good Phillies team of hitting 290 right now versus left-handers. Then you get this Tigers bullpen in terms of looking at this Phillies full game team total. Tigers bullpen last right now in opponent's batting average of 307, last right now in whip at 1.8, 22nd in FIP of 4.45, and their ERA of 5.51 comes in at 25th. So they should be hitting Joey Wentz, hitting him early, and then just continuing on into a bullpen right now that's struggling. So Phillies full game team total looks really good at over 4.5 runs. All right, third inning, let's shut up and pitch now and give these guys some pitching props. What do you got there, Squirrel?
Yeah, I have a few to look at. You talked about Alek Manoah and how or why, he hasn't had the greatest of seasons, but I still think he has it in him. It's just that his game logs have been a little erratic in, he'll end up with 2 strikeouts, but then he'll get 7, and then, he'll get 3, and then he'll get 6. It's weird. It's not incredibly consistent. However, I think it could lead to a slight undervaluing for him. I can take over 4.5 strikeouts at -105, which is fairly intriguing to me because I know that he has the capability to get those punch outs. So it's definitely one thing I was looking at. If you're looking for a guy to go under in Ks, I was looking at Johan Oviedo of the Pirates. That was a guy that I think, that's against the Athletics, right? And they're sending him out there with, I think, a 1.7 whip rating as well. So he's not nearly as good as J.P. Sears. And I think you're getting another undervaluing here. There's one book, it's PointsBet, has a lot of juice attached to it, but you can go over 3.5 strikeouts. Otherwise, you can get plus money at over 4.5 strikeouts. It's just a crazy pitching matchup where you have J.P. Sears. I think he has like a 1.07 whip against Oviedo, who's got like 1.7. So that will lead into my long shot. You can guess what it is, but give me your pitching props first, and then we'll talk about.
You got Oviedo at 4.5.
Oviedo under 5.5.
Oh,
Manoah was 4.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
That Manoah one, I haven't bet the under yet. I'm just waiting to see if maybe we can get some plus money on that. And the Astros team not striking out versus right-handers. I think they're going to throw in several left-handed bats that really, he's been struggling with left-handed bats. Curious to watch that Manoah line. I like Blake Snell today to stay under 6.5 Ks at plus 110. Scary, admittedly, with Blake Snell, but don't be too scared when you start to look at the numbers. I think Blake Snell and the perception of high strikeouts is scary. Remember, he struck out the side recently against the Nationals to go over 5.5. This is under 6.5, where he stayed under in 8 of 11 starts. Stayed under at 8 and 11 starts, and we're getting it at plus 110. He's already gone up against these Cubs on April 25th, where he only got 5 Ks. And if I compare the Cubs now versus the Cubs then, their strikeout rate is better at 22.4%. It was at 23.4%. So not a ton better, but it is better at 1%. They've already got familiarity against them. They already stayed under this number relatively easy, only getting 5 Ks. And he stayed under at 8 of 11. And we know with Blake Snell, his pitch count's going to be high. The Cubs draw the most pitches per plate appearance at 4.12 pitches per plate appearance. They're going to make him work, just like they did on April 25th when he only lasted 5 innings. They're going to get a couple runs off of him as well. We know the MO with him. Walk, solo, home runs. So I like
6.5?
6.5 plus money. Plus 110. The market seems to agree with me. I'm getting it now at plus 105. I'm getting it at other books at minus 105. So the plus money opportunity is dwindling down. So jump up on that one. And then another one I like is Adam Wainwright, under 17.5 outs of the St. Louis Cardinals. He stayed under in all 5 starts. All 5 starts he stayed under 17.5 outs. and struggles like a lot of pitchers do as you go through the order multiple times. First time, the opponent's hitting 214 off him. Then you go through the second time through the lineup, they're hitting 381. And if he makes it the third time through the lineup, teams are hitting 400 off him. There's a reason why he hasn't gone 6 innings. Every start, he stayed under 17.5 outs. And the Rangers with the number one offense, Squirrel mentioned when talking about taking the over in this game, they're the number one offense versus right-handers. 325 is what they're hitting. They're slashing 378 and 524. They're not striking out at 19.3%, and they've got the number one weighted runs created in baseball at 150. And they also avoid the double play. They're the third best team at avoiding the double play at 0.53 per game. Now, I can't see Wainwright doing something all season that he's never done against the number one offense in baseball. So easy play. Hopefully we get the right result at under 17.5 outs. Fourth inning, long shots. I'd like to see what dog out there is the best one today for you, Squirrel.
Yeah, I just gave out the Blake Snell under. I was looking at it this morning before we got to talking, and it's... Yeah, I like it. So I fully agree with you there. In agreement with that one. And so much so that I ended up betting it.
I did just get your text message. Thank you. I've already bet it.
Yeah.
But I just got your text. Appreciate it. Let's go.
Yeah. Cool. So long shots. This is the favorite underdog that I have today, and I gave it out on TikTok last night. I'm really striving to do actually probably at least 2 videos per day. I've done that at the first 4 days now, I think, of June. So just giving out tips, things to make you a more successful bettor, hopefully. And this one came straight out of the Data model. I think we're getting to a point in the season where we can start to fade some perceptions. And the number one perception today was the Tampa Bay Rays. You see them as this insanely hot-hitting team, and they came out on fire at the beginning of the season. Their record is still insane. So you got that on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum is the Oakland Athletics and how they can't win a game and they're 12-49 and, don't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Well, at some point, everything is for sale at the right price. And to me, last night, plus 170 was the right price for the Oakland Athletics, which you can't really get anymore at all. I think they're closer to plus 150 now. And my argument to this whole thing was not only, I could just tell you it was a data model thing, but seriously, go look at, as I said, the starting pitching matchup. It's mismatched. JP Sears is actually a very good pitcher with nearly a 1 whip rating compared to Oviedo's 1.7. I know that you get the Pirates at PNC Park today, but even with the ballpark factors, which is usually around 3 or 4%, just for being at home, they still actually aren't that large of a favorite. The Oakland Athletics, I have really more down in the plus 120s as a projection, and I got plus 170. So the thing I would worry about is the Athletics bullpen. So I was thinking yesterday, maybe first 5 is actually the slightly better play here to back Sears or to back that mismatch maybe a little bit more. But you still got 5 runs on Alcantara yesterday. It's not like they can't ever win. It's not like they're not putting up any runs. I think you just have to pick and choose with a team like this. Where are the most likely spots that they can win? And I think today is definitely one of them.
All right. Taking the Athletics, doing it. Plus 170-ish, down to plus 150 right now. Backing JP Sears and the Oakland Athletics. They burned me yesterday. I did not enjoy that.
Didn't they have a lead and let it go?
Of course they had a lead and let it go. The bullpen's got off. Of course they had a lead. They got 5 runs off
Okay, but here's my case for the over. Here's my case for the over then. I can do it for every game. I can make a case for the over in every game today. It's and hey, it's not a bad play to take the over either. I think it's a little bit of juice, but over 8.5, you get, as long as the Athletics put up some runs, you would expect that bullpen kind of blows it again, as they always do. It's just
man, you're telling the Athletics. All right, I like it. or I don't know if I like it, but you're on it. I'm gonna go ahead and back the Cubs today. Yeah, Cubs today, you can find them at plus 148 on some sports books. They're taking on the Padres today. I think you get two of the three advantages in this one. I do think you get the starter advantage. Blake Snell already again went up against the Cubs. In 5 innings, gave up a couple runs. Kyle Hendricks didn't see the Padres yet this year. The Padres seem like it just continues to struggle. It struggles more versus right-handers than they do versus left-handers. Kyle Hendricks has been around. He'll know how to keep the game low scoring, keep the Cubs in it. Meanwhile, look for Blake Snell to walk a couple batters, give up a couple home runs. The Cubs will have the advantage. They need the advantage because you do not get the bullpen advantage. You get a Padres bullpen that's really good right now. While the Cubs bullpen has improved from what we talked about last week, they're still a little bit worse than league average across the major categories from the bullpen. So hopefully the offense can come through. Hendricks can do what a lot of teams have done from a right-handed pitching perspective against this Padres lineup, keep them low scoring. And if so, let's get into those good arms for the Cubs and let's get a victory. Go Cubs at plus 148. I think that's your best dog today. All right, 5th inning, keep swinging. Give these guys some hitting props today. What do you got, Squirrel?
One guy that consistently comes up in my projections and has for the last few days in a row, not entirely sure why, I guess. I haven't, I don't routinely sit there and look through every individual batter's stats and how they're doing. It's just not something that I generally look at. But for the Brewers, Owen Miller comes up a lot for the over 1.5 total bases, and it might make sense today with the debut pitcher. But again, like you said, if he's a lefty and they struggle against it, maybe you have some reservations, but you're getting good plus money depending on the book that you're able to get the bet at. But I see anywhere ranging from plus 120 to plus 130, depending on the book. But I certainly wouldn't mind it from the projection standpoint.
Owen Miller. Okay. I'm looking at him right now. I've never heard of the guy. A right-handed second baseman?
I think he's more towards the top of the order. I don't think he's, like 8th or 9th in the order.
Yeah, let's see where he hits. Oh, he hits second.
Yeah.
Shit, he's hitting 319 on the season. I'm looking this up because I got roasted last week on Twitter. I gave out Chris Bryant. Apparently Chris Bryant's injured and on the 10-day disabled list, so he did not get a effing hit, obviously. They didn't play in the game. Huh. Owen Miller, I like it. 319. Yeah. Hit second. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to do Yan Gomes. Yan Gomes, they're the Chicago Cubs. He's 5 for 13 off of Blake Snell, but no strikeouts. No strikeouts in those 13 at-bats. He does have 2 doubles and a home run. So look for Yan Gomes to have some success off Blake Snell. And then what about Kyle Tucker? I mentioned left-handed bats have been destroying Alek Manoah all season long. So you got to find one left-handed bat in this lineup. And I'll take him. He's 2 for 3 off of Manoah in his career. And really just feasting off Manoah's struggles versus left-handers. And I like Kyle Tucker. So give me him. They're the Houston Astros. 6th inning. It's a steal. Can't give out those Athletics, even though that's a steal for the price. What's another one there, Squirrel?
The other one is the only other underdog that I played today on the money line, and at this point, I think it's a steal. I took last night the Boston Red Sox on the money line at a plus 148, which I think the market has responded to by pulling it down closer to 130, if I remember right.
Okay, I'm showing
before the show.
Yeah, plus 130. I got plus 135, but you're right there.
So to have a plus 148, I feel pretty good about that. I know it's going to be a tough game because it's Shane McClanahan, so good pitching on that side of things. But again, with these games at Fenway, I'm expecting an over, and the case that I can make for that over as well. I mean, you could take either one of these, the over or the Red Sox. I took both. I'm trying to pull up the stats for you right now because, let's see. So when the Red Sox are at home, okay. It's some insane, let's see, 21 overs and 9 unders has been the record at Fenway Park this year in 23. Okay. So you got to like that. I'm expecting about 12 runs, and I think the line last night I got over 8.5, and I expect 12 runs. So whether that's the Rays tagging up on Bray and Bello and just, it's going to either be a close game like 5-5 type thing, or it's going to be Rays murder them like 8-2 type thing.
I will say this. I was interested in this game looking it up. The Red Sox only have 50 plate appearances versus left-handers. So, not enough to where you kind of maybe have to factor in season numbers, right? Because you don't have a lot in the current sample size. But they're hitting 300 versus left-handers. They're slugging 450. Weighted runs created is 156. Sets up for a day where I think they can get a few runs off McClanahan. And McClanahan, who they've already seen, obviously this season, saw last season being a division rival. So
if I'm not talking about my opinion, if I'm talking about data model projections, I have it plus or minus favored slightly for the Rays. So plus 120 for the Red Sox was my projection. This is that major overvaluing I was talking about then for the Rays, right? Is you see this perception of like, oh my God, they have like they're like, second to the Rangers now, I guess, but the hottest hitting team in baseball, and they got Shane McClanahan on the mound, and like I think the books can set a higher price because they know people will pay that because they have that feeling that they're going to win at minus 170 more than minus 120, right? Like that's the idea. That's that false sense of like where people get the it's a lock from, right? I mean, I can slap minus 500 on something. It doesn't mean that it's just guaranteed to like. I've seen so many damn people lose, man. It's horrible.
All right, Red Sox money line for you is your steal of the day. I'm going to go ahead and give out the NRFI of the day. Royals taking on the Marlins today at minus 113 is the NRFI of the day. Braxton Garrett been doing good in the first inning. Teams are only hitting 176 off him. Love that. His whip is .7 in the first inning. And how about 2 runs and 10 starts to go along with 13 Ks. He's been really strong. And so is Carlos Hernandez. He's a bullpen guy. The Royals are going to have themselves a bullpen day, which I don't understand why Zach Greinke's not here. And they're throwing a bullpen day. Zach Greinke, 6 days off. What are we doing here? But whatever. Carlos Hernandez has been better than Braxton Garrett. A 143 opponent's batting average, .5 whip. Only 2 starts, again, because he is a bullpen guy. He did not give up a run in either of those 2 starts. He's going to come in and throw 100 miles an hour where this guy is. Marlins are getting a NRFI in 82% of their games. The Royals are at 64%. Royals are struggling really bad versus left-handed pitching. They're only hitting 220, and they're only slugging 370. So I think Braxton Garrett can get it done. And the Marlins, they're average in hitting right-handers. They're hitting 259, but Carlos Hernandez is probably their best arm coming out of their bullpen, either him or Stallmont. But I think Hernandez is a little bit better and stronger. So I think that's the best NRFI of the day. It's Royals Marlins at minus 113. We gave you our value of the day. Now we got to give you our best bet. We do that in coming to a stretch. What's your best bet today, Squirrel?
In terms of being the most likely to win, I think the over in the Cardinals and Rangers. I got it 9.5. I don't know if there are any still available, but 10 runs just feels very doable, not only from both sides of the bats, but both sides of the mound as well. Just struggling pitchers and good batters. It just seems like something that should easily happen.
Okay, I'm still seeing some 9.5, so you can grab those. My best bet, not to repeat one, but I think I do need to repeat one. How's Wainwright going to do something he hasn't done all season against the best offense in baseball? He may do it, and we've seen guys do something that they've never done before, and I bet against them, but I can't see him doing it. So Wainwright, under 17.5 outs. I have to take that as my best bet today at minus 125. 8th inning, we like to give you a parlay of the day. What's your parlay today, Squirrel?
Something I didn't do. Do you have one readily available?
Yeah, and okay. Let's just go to the Keystone State. Phillies, they're taking on the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, like the Phillies team total. I actually love that.
Dude, the Tigers have been just terrible at closing games. Like the last 2 games against the White Sox, they lost literally in the same fashion, minus the umpire getting hit in the face. I don't know if you saw that. Mm-hmm. What a weird way to win that game. But it was just walk-off bottom of the 10th, walk-off bottom of the 9th. They cannot hold shit at the end of the game. I mean, it's not good.
Phillies team total. Remember the Tigers bullpen, last in opponent's batting average, last in whip, 22nd in FIP, and 25th in ERA. Yeah, Tigers bullpen is struggling to say the least. And then the Pirates are going up against the Athletics. Squirrel may be on the Athletics. I'm not sure why. But I'm going to be on the Pirates. So it's the Keystone State parlay for me at plus 115. Pirates, Phillies. Get it done, boys, at plus 115. What are you parlaying today, Squirrel? You're parlaying the over in Cardinals, Rangers, and you're parlaying the over in Rays, Red Sox. I can feel it. Let's have it.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
I do it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's throw up these official bets, and then let's do some rapid fire. I need some of your leans. I need some of your projections. I got a free bet over on BetMGM I need to cook up, so I'm looking to tail a couple of yours. I think that Rays Red Sox is jumping in there. You got it projected, you said at 12. I can get the line right now at 9. I'm going to hop in on that one, I think. Only 4 bets for me today, fellas. But I think there are 4 great bets. We're going to take that Snell under 6.5 Ks. We'll take Wainwright as our best bet today. We'll take that Phillies team total, almost the second best bet of the day. And then the NRFI of the day does make the card at minus 113. Let's have ourselves a day, fellas. Go 4-4. Let's do it. Let's jump into rapid fire. See what projection Squirrel can cook us up with here. Rays and Red Sox over under of 9. Rays minus 155. Red Sox plus 135. I like the over in this one, like you do as well. I'll just stick to the over.
Yeah, I like the over and the Red Sox value, but you can't get it anymore at plus 148. So of things that are obtainable, the over is where to look.
All right, you're getting the Phillies taking on the Tigers over under of 8.5. Tigers plus 200. Phillies minus 140. I was interested in the Phillies F5 money line or the F5 money line. 240, yeah, sorry. But that's minus 160 is what they want you to pay on an F5 run line. It's justified. The Tigers are hitting 188 right now versus right-handers, and they're going to see Aaron Nola. This is a Phillies from start to finish. Give me the Phillies run line at minus 120.
Yeah, I'm not a run line player, and I'm really entertaining that today. I have a higher projection than 8, but I would really have to think that it's not because of the Tigers' contributions. Can't really see it. I mean, Aaron Nola's good, right? I think when I looked at his stats, he's pretty. And what was it? Joey Wentz was the other side of that?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not a run line player, but I would play a run line on that probably, or the over. But I'd shy away more from the over just because I don't expect the Tigers to contribute much.
Royals and Marlins over under of 8. Royals plus 140. Marlins minus 165. I'm taking the under 8 here. Under 8.
What was the money line price you said?
Plus 140. Royals minus 165. Marlins.
Oh, So remember I messaged you yesterday and said that my model loved the Royals?
Mm-hmm.
They ended up pulling it off, I think. It was 2-0 when I looked later in the game, but I think it's a lot to pay for the Marlins. Take Royals, I guess, as an underdog. I don't remember who the pitchers are.
Bullpen day for the. You can maybe figure it out for the Royals. Marlins are throwing their lefty, Braxton Garrett. Let's see what the let's get a projection here. Let's see their current staff.
Carlos Hernandez is the expected pitcher for the Royals.
Oh, Brad Keller hit the DL. That's why. So it should be maybe Brad Keller's spot. I think it's going to be a true bullpen day. I don't think they've got like a Sean Manaea. I mean, everybody's got a long relief guy, but at least nobody noticeable when you look up their roster like the Giants, and you can project a bullpen day, and you know you're going to get Manaea for 4-ish innings. I can't make that same projection here with the Royals, but it looks like maybe a full-on bullpen day. That's why I like the under. I think they're going to be able to keep the Marlins off bay. Yeah, give me under 8. I like it. And you said Royals money line? Sorry.
I think so. Yeah.
They
just for too much. I mean, it's just too much. Damn. Plus 160, you said?
Yeah, they did get that win. It was 2-0 yesterday. I think when I messaged you back, I said over, didn't I? When you said Royals money line, I said over.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Actually, I said under, right? I said under.
Yeah, you said exact score 2-0, actually.
Yeah, I think I said it was an easy under. Athletics and Pirates with an over-under of 9. Athletics plus 150. Pirates minus 175. You are on the right side. Like, reward the man. I didn't bet the Pirates in the Keystone double light parlay. Reward the man. Reward the man. He's on the right side. Give him those Athletics.
Yeah, otherwise, I think the over is probably a good play, too, just because I'm expecting that Athletics bullpen to get demolished in the Oviedo's not great to start out with. So, yeah, I mean, if all goes according to plan, it would be Athletics in the first 5, and then I don't know if I'm going to get effed later on, but we'll see how that one goes.
How do you get 5 runs off Alcantara and you can't convert that to a win? 5 runs. And they all came in 1 inning, though. It's not like they were – I wouldn't say they were successful. I didn't watch that game, but I'm assuming Alcantara just had 1 bad inning.
I took a worse beat than that. I think I took a worse beat than that. I feel like I did. I had the Cubs game yesterday, over 8.5, and they got 8 in the first 3 innings, and then
nothing.
The whole rest of the game, nothing, 0. Yeah, so I got screwed. Apparently, it was a 99% chance to win, according to Action Network. I had a 1% chance to lose, and I lost.
Unreal.
But it was a lock, bro.
Astros and Blue Jays over/under of 10. Astros plus 105. Blue Jays minus 125. I'm going to hope you don't see the good arms from the Blue Jays today because the Astros do jump on Alek Manoah. And now I don't think you're going to get the bullpen advantages that the Blue Jays definitely have. Their bullpen remains top 5. I'm taking the Astros at plus 105 today. Their offense has cooled off too. Remember last week they were a top offense. They're middle of the pack now.
I did grab an over, but I think it's not available anymore. Let's see.
Showing 10.
10. I went over 9.5 minus 110.
Yeah. Let's see what another book has 10. So yeah, we're firmly at 10 across the board. All right, on the right side of that one, Brewers and Reds over and of 9.5. Brewers plus 105. Reds minus 125. Tough game to project here with Andrew Abbott making his MLB debut. Because he doesn't have overpowering stuff, like you'd like to think the Brewers could do something against this lefty, but they suck against left-handers. There's no way I can project that. I'm going to see if they've gone against Rich Hill this season. Just a quick comparison of like another guy that throws slow. Just curious if they faced them. Division opponent. Of course they have. I'm going to see if they face Drew Smiley real quick, and then I'll be done. See if they face Drew Smiley. Another guy, left-hander, is not going to overpower you, trying to hit you with finesse and a breaking ball that's just going to drop in the zone. Cool. You also didn't go against the Brewers. Okay, cool. I don't know. Tough one to me. I'll say Reds. I mean, the Brewers can't hit shit. I'll say Reds. Give me Reds. Okay. 25.
Yeah, I think you just take the ballpark and you take the debut and the 11-inning pitcher, and you just hope that the game goes over because that's the projection. So,
Cardinals and Rangers over under of 9.5. Cardinals plus 125. Rangers minus 145. I'm seeing starter, bullpen, hitting advantages. I almost gave this one out at minus 132. Hell, maybe if it stays around the minus 130. That's still minus 130 over on MGM. I may be adding this Rangers money line, so I love it. Rangers money line.
I have to go along with it. I have the Cardinals right where they are, plus 120. So they're not like favorited by any means or way off the mark. So another game, I took the over, man. I'm telling you, I could do it for every damn game day. I could play the over and everything.
Rangers should certainly hit that team total and contribute like that. Cubs and Padres with an over-under of 8.5. Cubs plus 150. Padres minus 175. Dog of the day, not coming off of it during rapid fire. Give me the Cubs.
I have plus minus 150 as the projection. So
right there,
I guess, for the Cubs, yes. And then I have over-under 8.5 as a projection.
8.5.
Did it go to 9?
No, I think I said 8.5. Let me see. I thought I said 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. 8.5. Juice to the over.
Right there on
Let's see. We've got that game juice to the over. Cardinals, Rangers, juice to the over. Even on Brewers, Reds. Even on Astros, Blue Jays. We've got juice to the under in Pirates, Athletics. Even on Royals, Marlins. Juice to the under in Phillies, Tigers. And juice to the under in Rays, Red Sox. All right. Yeah. We've got Mitch Keller going up against the Athletics tomorrow. Are you going to pony up for plus 180 on those Athletics tomorrow? Because everybody's jumping on Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller's having himself a hell of a season. Pirates are getting Caprilli in. Yeah, the Athletics will be valued tomorrow. We know how that story works.
It's every day.
Looking at some other of these pitchers tomorrow. Yeah. Joe Musgrove. Ooh, there's going to be some good betting spots tomorrow. All right, there it is, fellas. I've got 4 bets. I'm looking to go 4-0. Looking to bust out the brooms. Looking to high-five you guys 4 times at the cash counter. That's the goal today. Go 4-0. Have yourself a good one, fellas. Thank you guys for kicking off another week here on the Payoff Pitch. We look to do it overall again tomorrow. Hop on over to hockeysquirrel.com. See what he's on. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good one.